My family, the Haineses, left their village in England in 1682, searching for a place they could have the freedom to practice their faith. William Penn was the English Quaker granted the land that became Pennsylvania. He and a group of prominent Quakers owned land in West Jersey, and he encouraged his fellow Quakers to settle there. My ancestors heard these stories of religious freedom and how Penn parceled out acres to prospective settlers. They sailed across the Atlantic Ocean on a ship named Amity to claim 100 acres of farmland. Our family historian was Uncle Bob. He caught the genealogy bug, and I discovered it was contagious. I helped him with computer searches and investigating our family tree. We spent hours traipsing through graveyards and in our local historical societies. Our branch of the Haineses continued to farm for the next 330 years. My family lived on a dairy farm where Guernsey and Holstein cows grazed in lush green pastures. The dairy had a processing plant where workmen pasteurized milk and made ice cream. Those were the days of home delivery, and dairy products and ice cream were delivered to restaurants and homes by our fleet of trucks. The best part about living in a farm was having a grandfather who raised Shetland ponies. It was a little girl's paradise where mares and foals frolicked in the pastures each spring. As a member of the 4-H club, I learned to sew, raise livestock, and show ponies. We farmed using tractors and hay balers, and I often wondered what it was like living in an earlier time, turning piles of earth with a plow and cutting hay with a sickle. 5 years ago, I too, like my ancestors, crossed an ocean. Not the Atlantic, but the Pacific, to visit Nepal. After flying to Kathmandu and then Pokhara, I traveled by jeep to where the road ended. My journey took me to villages in the Annapurna region. I trekked on pathways made of steep stone steps, where I focused on every step since each was a different height. Everything not grown or crafted in the community had to be carried to the villages on the backs of men, women, or mules. Men were using water buffalo to plow the fields, and women used sickles to cut hay and pile it in tall mounds. I watched an old woman beat millet with a wooden paddle to separate the grain from the shaft. I was astonished to see that they were probably using the same farm practices that my ancestors did 300 years ago. I felt like I had stepped into a time machine. By traveling halfway around the world to a foreign land, I witnessed how hard farming must have been for my Quaker ancestors, and still is for many people in Nepal. My question, what was it like to live in earlier times, was answered.